Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to see everyone out tonight at the end of a long day, and I hope it's been a good day. I just have one quick question to ask you about it. What have you accomplished today? I'll give you a few seconds. Just take a moment to reflect on what you have accomplished today. All right, now let me change the question a little bit. What are you accomplishing today? What happens when we change that question to the present tense? What are you accomplishing today? Does that change your answer at all? Keep thinking about that because we're going to circle back around to it later. As we study through Hebrews and Truth Seekers, I've been struck by the importance of paying attention to time words. As you consider the time associated with different parts of the gospel message, you start to get a better appreciation of it. So I want to quickly walk you through the time frame of the gospel in Hebrews using 5 key time words. The first word is temporary, which refers to us and our efforts. In Hebrews 7:23, we see the former priests were many in number because they were prevented by death from continuing in office. They were limited because they were mortal. Likewise, their sacrifices were not enduring either. Hebrews 10:3-4. But in these sacrifices there is a reminder of sins every year, for it is impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sins. They had to offer sacrifices over and over again because they just didn't last. They were temporary. Fortunately, there was a solution to this, which brings us to our second time word, once. Unlike fallible earthly priests, Jesus only had to offer his sacrifice once. Hebrews 7:27, he has no need, like those high priests, to offer sacrifices daily, first for his own sins and then for those of the people, since he did this once for all when he offered up himself. Jesus only needed to offer one sacrifice, one time. Why? Because it was perfect. The next verse, Hebrews 7:28, says, "For the law appoints men in their weakness as high priests, but the word of the oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever." And that's the perfect transition to our next time word, forever. Jesus' ministry is better because it endures forever. Hebrews 7:17, "For it is witnessed of him, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek." Since Jesus isn't temporary like us, like the old high priests, he's able to save us at all times. Hebrews 7:25, consequently, he is able to save at all times those who draw near to God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. Which brings us to our response. When is the call open to us? Well, God has appointed a time for us to accept his call. It's one of my favorite words in all of Hebrews, today. Hebrews 4:7, again, he appoints a certain day, today, saying through David so long afterwards, in the words already quoted, "Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts." The call is open to us in the present, now, today. But today isn't where the story ends. There's one more time word we need to address, continually. When we answer the call, we become part of a royal priesthood, as described in 1 Peter 2. As priests trying to imitate Jesus' divine nature, which is eternal, we also must offer our service continually. Hebrews 13, verses 15-16. "Through him, then, let us continually offer up a sacrifice of praise to God, that is, the fruit of lips that acknowledge his name. Do not neglect to do good and share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." We aren't eternal like Jesus, so we have to try and imitate his service by offering our sacrifices continually, as long as it is called today, to borrow terminology from Hebrews. So, to summarize our time words, we have temporary, which is us and our efforts. We have once, which is Jesus' perfect sacrifice. Forever, which is his divine nature and ministry. Today, which is our call. And continual, which is our service to imitate Jesus. So I ask again, what are you accomplishing today? Are you continually offering your sacrifices to God? Are you presenting yourself daily as a living sacrifice to God? If the answer to that question is no, there's an opportunity today to make that right. The baptistry is ready today. There is no time other than today when you will be able to answer the call. So if there's any way we can assist you today to help you devote yourself to God continually, come to the front as we stand and sing.